Sponsored by my cat Nezuko. She goes with me wherever I go. We'll always be together. What's up, nerds? Welcome to my channel, and today we are doing a very special video to recap my experience at the Los Angeles premiere of the Demon Slayer World Tour. Before we dive in, I want to just say, if you like what you heard today and you want to experience more about the Demon Slayer World Tour, as well as just listen to three friends talk for hours about Demon Slayer, I am a podcaster with the Hashira Half Hour. I'll link it in the description below. We have a lot of fun with it. We recap Demon Slayer episodes. We got all the way through season 1. We're about to start Entertainment District, and we're going to be recapping each episode of Swordsmith Village as it comes out. So you definitely want to check that out before the season starts. It's linked in my description below. All right, but let's just dive into this because this was quite literally the craziest experience of my life. And I'm still finding a hard time putting the words into my mouth about what my brain is like. This is what happened to you. This is what happened to you on Saturday, February 18th, 2023. Because my brain is still like, what happened? I don't really know. Because that was pretty wild. But I do know you might be sitting there going, Hannah, what exactly is this Demon Slayer World Tour? Is it a movie? Is it the next season? What's happening? And I got you. So the trailer came out back in December, and they talked about the fact that the TV anime is coming back in April. And at the time of recording this video, it is February 26th. As of March 1st, we should have an actual release date of the anime. So by the time this is uploaded, I'll probably know it, and I'll put the date right here. But that is for the actual Demon Slayer anime. We are going to be getting the full season via Hulu, Crunchyroll, however you watch it, via your streaming services. Now, what this is the World Tour. So the way they advertised it was a thank you to the worldwide fans. They weren't expecting this anime to become a global phenomenon like it has, so they're giving us this little gift. Is it a cash grab? Maybe. I'll admit, yeah, okay, it's kind of a cash grab, but here's the thing about cash grabs when it comes to media. This is how they make their money. So they looked at their show, they saw, oh, this is extremely popular and everyone's talking about it. We're going to put stuff out into a movie theater so that we can make more money and bump up our budget, so maybe we can pay our voice actors more. Maybe we can pay our animators more. Maybe we can pay our composers more. I'm down for that. I'll give you all my money. If you give me experiences like this and in turn you pay the people involved more, sign me up. But essentially what this movie is, it's not something you have to see. You don't have to see it, and you will not miss anything, really, because we're gonna get the first episode via the anime anyway. But what the movie was the last 2 episodes of Entertainment District, episode 10 and 11, and the first episode of the Swordsmith Village, which is the upcoming arc in April. It's literally just watching 3 episodes back to back. They did not edit it down into a movie. They did not do anything special. You literally get the OP, you get the ED, you get the credits, you get everything. No editing down. They just threw it all together and put it on the big screen. It is hitting theaters across over 80 countries in the world. Just a real quick note, I am going to split this video into multiple parts. I mean, it's all gonna be one video, but I'll make sure that each one has a start and end, because at the end of the video, I am going to dip into some spoilers a little bit. I'm gonna try to not be super spoilery, but I am gonna talk about the first episode with a little bit more description, a little more details. So I'll talk about the pre-show and the merch. I'll talk about the movie without spoilers and just do an overall review of it, and then I'll talk about the movie with spoilers so that you guys can stop watching if you don't want those spoilers. I also was so excited last weekend that I barely slept. I got home and I got sick, and my voice is still recovering because I didn't know what to do with myself. I am one of the biggest Demon Slayer fangirls that you will probably ever meet in your life, and that was better than Disneyland. I don't really know how to explain it other than that was a once in a lifetime chance to see some people watch the movie full of a theater of just crazy fans cheering. It was amazing. But first, I'm just gonna briefly talk about some of the merch and free swag that we got. It did mention on the Orpheum website that we were all going to get a free souvenir with the purchase of a ticket. Now, I don't know about y'all, when I hear free souvenir with the purchase of a ticket, I think a poster or maybe a keychain if you're lucky, like a baseball cap, or you know, you never know, it could be like a cheaply made t-shirt, something like that. No, our free swag was wild and probably worth around $60-ish if you just buy all this stuff up front, which is pretty crazy. First things first is we got this Demon Slayer tote bag. This is a very large tote bag. I'm already planning to use it for like traveling, and I'm gonna be flying a lot over the next few weeks, so I'm kind of excited to use it for that. I'm someone who really likes to show off like what I'm a fan of in public. I don't care that people judge me for watching anime, but having this will allow me to possibly make new friends. So this bag was on every single seat and it was filled with stuff. I'm going to start with like the cheapest stuff and move on to the more like expensive stuff that was in the bag. The first thing was this like plastic bag. I don't really know the point of this bag other than that it has Tanjiro and Nezuko on one side and Gyutaro and Daki on the other. I think this is more of an advertisement for these figurines that they were like advertising for throughout this entire event. It was one of the slides on the screen before the movie started. It's like really well made, but it's really small and barely open, so I don't really know what I would fit in here. I'm just kind of holding on to it because it's got my children, so, you know. Okay, so next were some surprise bags. You know, these are really popular right now. I haven't gotten a ton. I know the bag clips are really popular and people are opening them on TikTok all the time. I get a For You video of someone opening a surprise bag like at least once a day. They gave us 3. None of them were the bag clips, but they were these little figures and then something called tippies, which I'll explain what they are in a minute. I already opened mine and opened them on TikTok because I wanted to, but the first one I got was this little Giyu figure. He's just sitting there looking all cute. Giyu's my second favorite character from the show, so I got pretty excited. My friend that went with me actually got this, and then we switched because I got Zenitsu, and that's his favorite character. And then the tippies look like this. I don't really know how to describe it other than they're like 2 round balls that stand up. And I got Ubuyashiki, the master, and Inosuke. And like, these are probably worth, if you buy them straight up, like I think they're like $5.99 or something, depending on where you go. But we got them for free, and we got 3 of them, so that's pretty cool. Now this is where like most of us were really shocked with what they gave us, because I'm sure they got these at extremely discounted rates, or these were like directly from Aniplex, who like was in charge of the show. First thing we got was this little tiny Nezuko figure. Oh my gosh. She's in her little baby form. And I'm dead. This alone, I think I looked it up, is worth like $26 or something like that. I mean, this is like a legit figure. This is not like some cheaply made thing. Like, this is an actual figure that you can buy online, and every single person that attended the show got one for free. Okay, finally, and I have not opened this up yet because this is like an IKEA figurine. This is a figurine of Tanjiro, and it comes in like a bunch of tiny little pieces. I have not even opened it yet because I'm scared. I'm not good at building IKEA furniture, so I think I'm gonna be pretty bad at building this. But however, this is my all-time favorite character. I love Tanjiro so much. Like, he is my son. I will protect him. And I already have multiple Tanjiro figurines. I don't even care. I'm gonna put another one up. And that was what was in the bag. So this is just guesstimating, but if you were to buy all of this stuff just by itself, I'm thinking the entire bag would be worth around $60 to $70, which is pretty crazy because I know like the tickets in the second floor all the way in the back, I think were only like $40. So some of the people that bought tickets literally got their money back and then some, because every single person that got a ticket, this was not like specific to a certain group. This is not specific to, oh, if you spent the $150 on the more expensive tickets. No, like every single person that attended got this exact bag that I got, which is absolutely wild. Like, it's very generous of them, and thank you, Aniplex, Crunchyroll, whoever was fully in charge of this. Thank you so much for this, because this was pretty incredible. And that's not to say that I didn't spend some money on some merch while I was there. In my defense, I did not know that those swag bags were on our chairs. Like I said, I was expecting like a free poster. So we walked in and we went straight to the merch because the line was super freaking long already, and we like waited a while to get in. Like, we were some of the first people there. But this merch, I believe, is specific to this premiere itself. So it's world tour merch, but as far as I know, I don't think regular theaters are going to be selling this, unfortunately. It might end up on the website, maybe, possibly, or you might get lucky and your theater might be doing it, because it said exclusive world tour merch. It did not say exclusive to the premiere. But it was literally things that I think the people that flew over from Japan, like, they literally brought it. So, because I've seen this stuff at like the Japanese premieres, which is pretty crazy. But I spent about $80-ish on the merch, and I'll show you what I got. Starting out with my t-shirt. Now this is the official like poster for the world tour. It's got Tanjiro, Moichiro, and Mitsuri, who are the two Hashiras we're getting in the Swordsmith Village. And then we also got Tengen, who of course was in Entertainment District, along with all of the demons. And then it just has world tour, and then all the cities that like the actual premieres are hitting, which is Tokyo, Los Angeles, Paris, Berlin, Mexico City, Seoul, and Taipei. This t-shirt was actually the most expensive thing that I bought, but it was by far the most popular piece of merch that was there. Because it only has the names of the cities that have the actual premieres, I'm expecting these to only be sold at the premieres. And that's one of the reasons why I think most of this merch will only be at that premiere. Okay, so next, because apparently I don't have enough Tanjiro merch. That was a joke, I have way too much Tanjiro merch. It's like a little acrylic stand that you can put with like your figurines. It was like $10. I was like, oh, that's cheap. And then it has his name right here. You can't really see it, but. So I put this with my manga. I also got Tengen. They had Tanjiro, Nezuko, Tengen, Mitsuri, Moichiro. Yeah, they were like $10 to $12 each. They're pretty cheap, and they work just like figures, so they're really cute. Okay, so the last thing I got, I wasn't going to get because we have Spotify, and who listens to CDs anymore? But this CD just has the OP and ED from Entertainment District on it from NA. That is how she pronounces her name, by the way. She said it in the theater. I'm kind of giving you a spoiler alert because I wasn't going to talk about the guests yet, but MA was there, and here are the CDs. I think there's actually, so there's the full versions of each song, there's the instrumental version of each song, and then there's the TV version of each song. I'll explain why I ended up getting this. Because it came with this, which is just like a signed little card. I think it's a specific type of card. I don't remember the name of it. But you got the CD, you got this. I display it now. It's pretty cool. And that's why I got it. None of the other merch really jumped out at me. I was thinking of getting like the wall poster, but it was like, I think also $40 or something like that. And my walls are pretty packed with anime stuff as it is, so I don't know if I need more stuff for my walls. And this was just like way cheaper, so I decided to go with that. Okay, so now that we got through that random stuff, I'm sure most of you are skipping through this anyway, let's talk about the pre-show experience. Now, I will say this is where I had a little bit of disappointment with the experience because we didn't really know how things were gonna go, as this was a red carpet event. The red carpet was outside. Doors opened at 4 p.m. The show didn't actually start until 6 p.m. So that was like a pretty long time to be inside before the show starts. Like I said, we were one of the first ones there. I think we started lining up at roughly 2:30 with the idea in mind of trying to meet the guests, which I'm still going to not name. You probably know who they are, but the guests were probably the most crazy thing about this experience. And so we thought that at 4 p.m. the doors would open, but they would like open it up to the red carpet so you could kind of gather around the fence. And that wasn't the case. They literally just pushed us into the building and then did not allow us to exit and re-enter. So we were stuck in there from the time we walked in at 4 o'clock until the show started, which means that we missed every single special guest that was there walking the red carpet. And that was when they were like signing things and taking pictures and interviewing, and I would have really loved to have been there, and it kind of sucks that those of us who got there super early are the ones who missed out on that. People that just like showed up at 5:30, like some of them got autographs from some of the guests there, which don't know if that's ever going to be a possibility again, because guess what? Demon Slayer is Japanese and a bunch of the guests were Japanese. They don't come here super often. But it's okay. I really wanted to meet the special guests, but I knew going into it that there was a very low chance of that, especially because they don't like speak that much English, so it'd be really hard to interact with them anyway. I am taking Japanese right now at school, so I know more than the average person, and I had some questions rehearsed, so I was ready for it if it would happen. And to see like that some people did get to meet him kind of made me a little sad, but that's like really my only gripe with like what happened. Other than that, like we got our merch, and then we just kind of waited around for like an hour and a half before the show started. There was lots to see in the lobby. There were like little sets of figures everywhere. There were places to take pictures. They had the character mascots walking around. You couldn't take pictures with them, but you could like at least video them as they walked by. Super cute. And then the show started at 6. Also, side note, I got interviewed by Fuji TV like while we were waiting outside before the doors open. Like I was wearing my Tanjiro cardigan, and like someone walked up to me with a camera and was like, "Hey, like you're kind of dressed as Tanjiro. Do you mind if we interview you?" And I was like, "What?" And it was for Fuji TV, which is like I think the biggest news station in Japan. So if they aired my interview, who knows how many people saw me, and that's kind of crazy. Not gonna lie, they had me say a water breathing form in Japanese, and they told me I did a great job. So maybe my Japanese classes are actually helping me. Mizu no kokyu, jun no kata, senzen uruten. Let's talk about the show. So before the movie started, we got like an hour show with the special guests, including MA, who sang the OP and ED from Entertainment District. In the audience were a bunch of dub voice actors that I didn't know were there because there was a convention that same weekend that I knew they were at, but they all like flew in for this specific thing. I don't remember all of the actors' names, so I'm just gonna say their characters. I don't watch Demon Slayer dubbed, but I know a lot of people do, so this was pretty cool. But it was the dub voice actor for Gyutaro, Tengen, Inosuke, Nezuko, Zenitsu. I think that's it as far as who was in the audience. And then on stage, we had the dub voice actor for Tanjiro, Zach Aguilar, the producer of Demon Slayer, Yuma Takahashi. And quite honestly, the reason I was there and the reason for my disappointment that I did not get to experience the red carpet part, Natsuki Hanai, the Japanese voice actor for Tanjiro. Like I said, I don't watch Demon Slayer dubbed, so when I heard that not only a Japanese voice actor was going to be there, but the voice actor for my absolute favorite character, and also one of the most well-known voice actors in Japan as of now. I think he's currently like technically second behind Yuki Kaji, who is the voice actor for Eren Yeager. I said, sign me the heck up. Unfortunately, we were not able to record any of the show, which really sucked because I would really like to be able to look back on certain moments that happened, because there was so many great moments that happened with him on stage, and I'm just trying to hold on to each one via memory. But I know some people got lucky and got to record certain moments here and there, but the security by us were extremely strict. There was a person in front of me who pulled out their phone for like 5 seconds, and someone was on top of them. Not on top of them literally, but like telling them to put it away. So there was no chance that I was going to get to record any of it, which really sucks. I've seen the videos here and there. I've relived it. I'll be okay. Some moments to call out. Honestly, the whole hour that they were on stage had me ascending into heaven, because I am a big fan of Hanai-san. I will refer to Natsuki Hanai as Hanai-san, as that's what they did. That's what they usually refer to people you don't know in Japanese. You refer to them by their surname, san. That's like a sign of respect. But just a few things off the top of my head that happened that were just so incredibly wild and I might have shed a tear was they asked him to say hello to the audience, and he just like instantly went full Tanjiro on us and said the ending line of episode 19 of season 1, Hinokami. I can't say it in Japanese, but it's when he says like the bond between Nezuko and I cannot be severed by anyone. He was so into it that his voice cracked at the end. Like he like on the spot was like, hello.
俺と禰豆子の絆は誰にも引き裂けない
And then he said like, hello everyone in English and introduced himself, said I love you guys. It was really, really sweet.
Hello everyone! Nice to meet you! I'm Natsuki Hanae, Japanese voice of Tanjiro Kamado. I love you guys! Yeah!
The other big thing that happened was, and I had told my friends before this, I was like, if he says Hinokami Kagura in like his Tanjiro voice on stage, I will literally pass away. Like you will be dragging my body out of there. Obviously I'm fine. But not only did he say Hinokami Kagura, he also said Set Your Heart Ablaze. What?
Putting you on the spot.
Oh, big surprise.
But you guys want to, but you guys want them to do it, right? All right. Let's start with Hanae-san. Doza.
Okay. 負けるな。燃やせ。燃やせ。燃やせ。心を燃やせ。日の神神楽。烈日公共。Thank you.
I literally shed a tear. Wow, like he knows his fans, his American fans so well, because he also like he didn't know much English, so like he was speaking to us through a translator, and he talked about going to Malibu Beach and buying stuff and eating stuff, and he's talking about eating like a lobster sandwich. And like there were people in the audience who understood Japanese, so there was like a select few that was reacting to the things that he was saying as he was saying it, but like most people in the audience couldn't understand what he was saying until the translator spoke. He was talking about the food and he said umai. He was like, it was very umai, which is the perfect sign that he knows his American fans, because they don't really like, umai does not just directly translate to delicious or tasty. Umai is more of a like formal thing to say. It was very commonly used by samurai when they ate because they wanted to savor each meal as if it was their last. So it was actually like Rengoku saying umai was kind of to signify that he was going to die. But like they don't really use that super often. It's very formal and it's very like final, like signifying that you could die after you eat that. He just like randomly said it, and you could hear the audience as he was talking react to it, and then when the translator spoke, she didn't try to translate it into tasty or something. She was just like, he says it's very umai, and everyone just like lost their minds, and it was so funny. Sometimes I think about how weird that must be. Like that's just a word that they like that's in their vocabulary that they don't use that often, that like the fandom from a different country is just like obsessed with using. And like he clearly knows our obsession about it considering he used it, but like sometimes I wonder like what if a random English word became that for like a movie that we had, and in another like country like it becomes super super popular and it's that specific word and it's something silly like tasty. Like how would we feel? Like he was so kind to Zach. There's so much that I could talk about with it. I think it was really cute. He gave him advice and said to like not compare himself to his performance, and just like whatever he's been doing for Tanjiro, continue to do it, even though this was like their first time meeting. He was like, don't change the way you do Tanjiro just because like we've met. Like continue to do your best at what you do, that what you feel Tanjiro does if he spoke English. And that was really sweet. I don't remember the question, but at one point Hanae-san answered with like, it was amazing in English, and it was like everyone was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. And then they were like, okay Zach, you answer in Japanese, and he was like struggling. And like kind of off mic, Hanae-san goes, sugoi, sugoi, to like help Zach with the Japanese. It was so cute. I could go into so much detail and talk in length about that experience, and that's where I feel like it was otherworldly, because, well, Hanai-san is apparently loves LA. Like, he went in July of last year, and he like personally suggested he go to this one apparently because he wanted to come back, and then before the movie even ended, he was tweeting that he wanted to go back to LA, and I'm like, dude, you're still in the theater. At least I think he was at the after party, so I don't know if he's gonna come back. I don't know if we'll ever be able to like experience that. Like, there's something so interesting about being a fan of a piece of media where everyone involved is foreign and lives thousands of miles away. I'm someone who really enjoys that part of the fandom and enjoys like being a fan of the people who put in the work. I'm not someone who just watches the media, never knows who voices my favorite characters, never knows who acts as my favorite characters, because I think they deserve that recognition. They put in their hard work and, you know, into it. So I always like to be a fan of the artists themselves. I was losing my mind the entire time. You can ask my friends, like, I was shaking, I was like crying, and it was just like it was otherworldly. Like, the only way I can explain it is just hearing Tanjiro's voice live in front of me, like in the theater, was not anything that I could ever experience, that I thought I would ever experience, and I did. And I'm hoping and praying that they do something like this again so that I can experience it again, and hopefully actually get some recording of it, because I wish I could just burn everything that he said to my mind, since I didn't get to record any of it. I wish that I could just recall everything that he said. A lot of it has started to leave my memory a little bit, but luckily a few people there got some videos, so I'm pretty thankful for that. Because if I hadn't gotten that video, I would have been pretty sad about it. I would also like to say that I keep saying MA. I think that's how she said it. I can't fully remember. It was definitely not Eimer or Aimer. I will say that. Her performance was absolutely amazing. I feel like I cannot move on to the movie without saying, like, what a talent she is. What an amazing experience to hear those songs live as well. She knew a lot of English, and her voice when she speaks is so beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what? She should be a voice actor too. I know that like her being there pulled a big crowd as well. Everyone was so excited, cheering throughout it, screaming "I love you," and she was all like, yeah, keep saying that. And it was just really, really cool. I could go on for hours about like that experience with them. Yuma Takahashi, the producer, said that the animation's gonna get even better. Like, I'm like, can it even do that? Like, at this point, it's like, it's the best, and now you're making it better? And I can say, based off of the movie, yes, it's getting better. I turned off my light because I was tired of looking washed out. I feel like this looks better, right? Because I could go on for hours, I feel like I need to stop talking about that. All I want to say is, Hanai-san, ありがとうございました。鬼滅の刃と炭治郎が好きです。これからも頑張ってください。I feel like I just butchered that, but thank you, Hanai-san, very much. I love Tanjiro and Kimetsu no Yaiba. Please continue to do your best, is what I just said. I had that rehearsed. I've already forgotten it, but you know, someday I'm gonna be really good at Japanese. That's my goal. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the movie experience. This will be spoiler free for now. I won't go into much detail about the first part because it was just episode 10 and 11 of Entertainment District. They updated the animation a little bit, I think. I'm not really that good at catching that kind of stuff, but I think like the fight between Gyutaro and Tengen was a little bit clearer, and hearing it in 4D, let me just say that all of the like bones that break during those last two episodes, like Tanjiro's fingers, when Tengen gets stabbed like in his side and his eye gets hit, when Tanjiro gets stabbed through the chin, all of those sounds were so loud. It was like, ugh. The soundtrack though, they didn't change it, but it sounded so much better. It was so good. But like I said at the beginning of this video, it's literally just the two of them back to back. It's like sitting down and watching Crunchyroll back to back, just on the big screen. So there's no like editing together to make it into a movie. It's literally like you It starts at the very beginning of episode 10. You get the OP, you get the episode, you get the credits, and then you get the next episode, which doesn't have the OP at the beginning, it has it at the end, so you get the OP again at the end. We heard the OP so many times that night, everyone was like, all right, we got it, we love this song, but let's move on. And then you get the end of it, the end of the season, and then it jumps into Swordsmith Village episode 1. This episode starts with such a bang, the animation, like I said, it is actually better. Like, I don't know how they're doing it, but they're making it better and better. And the first 10 minutes of it, everyone was just losing their minds because it was just so well done. The whole episode was so well done, I will say. But seeing the opening sequence on the big screen was really powerful. I can see why they wanted to first air this as a movie or on the big screen. Because the animation at the beginning is this was made to be a movie, but it's not. It's just a regular TV anime. The arc is too long to be a movie itself, so they have to kind of make it into a TV anime. But this is kind of the best of both worlds because we got to experience it. The audience was amazing. I know some people are not into audiences cheering and laughing really loud and screaming during a movie. But honestly, it made the experience 10 times better for me to be inside a theater just full of Demon Slayer fans who were just screaming and yelling and cheering when people were revealed and when things happened in Entertainment District, when Tanjiro headbutted Gyutaro, everyone just started getting really hyped. And then when each new thing happened, everyone was just ah! And it was so good. You could hear people screaming, I love you, to certain characters, and I thought it was really funny and really fun to just be in that theater. These are people like me, and there was almost 2,000 of us in this theater just screaming and losing our minds the entire time. If you go back and there's one clip of when they welcome Tanai-san, Yuma-san, and Zach to the stage, you can hear the crowd is just freaking out, and then it dies down, and then the MC's will you say hello to the audience? And then Hanai-san was saying his line, and he didn't even finish it before everyone was just ah! Everyone was so excited to be there and so excited to experience it. Without going into detail, I have to just say I think that it is totally worth it to go see this movie. If you're gonna spend $15, then spend $15 on this. Not only is it something that's gonna go towards better animation, bigger budgets for the episodes, paying our animators more that work so hard, paying the voice acting cast that don't make that much money. Just spend your $15. Go take a Tuesday night and go see it in theater. It's really worth it, in my opinion, just to see, even just to see episode 10 and 11 on the big screen was really, really good. The fight between Gyutaro and Tengen, in my opinion, was made for a movie. They just didn't have time. It was just one of those things where it's that arc was too long to be a movie, and I think it's really just spectacular on the big screen. It's totally worth it to go see it. Just know that it is just your 3 episodes back to back. There is no special editing. I do believe there's some scenes in the first episode of season 3 that are not going to be in the TV anime. I don't think they're going to be anything important, obviously. But this was an extended version of it as far as I know. I can't speak to what will be missing from the TV anime because obviously it's not out yet, so I haven't been able to see what it's going to be. But keep that in mind. It might be some of the really sweet moments that I loved that were kind of added from the manga, which I'll go into detail in my spoiler part of this video. And it would be sad to miss out on some of those moments. So keep that in mind. Like I said, it's probably not going to be anything important. It might not even be anything at all. It might be literally they cut out a minute of it. And who knows what minute that would be. I know the very, very first scene in the episode was not in the manga. So, there's the chance that they just cut that out. Who knows? So, keep that in mind when you're thinking about going to see the movie. Okay, now let's dive into a little bit of a spoilery review. I am going to talk about episode 1 in length now. talking about things that happen. I'm going to kind of work through the episode to the best of my memory since I'm going based off of that. I did not write anything down. Obviously, I can't. I'm watching the movie subbed. I don't have time to look away. But like I said, the episode actually opens with a scene that's not technically in the manga. It is referred to in the manga, and we kind of get like one little picture of what they were talking about. But it is Goto in the entertainment district, like actually finding them and kind of like thinking about what's like all of the destruction within the entertainment district and being kind of surprised. And he obviously was looking for them, him calling out to someone saying like, hey, I found them, I'm gonna need some help, because they were unconscious. And I thought that was a really cute way to open the episode, honestly, kind of to give us a reminder and a callback to our Kamaboko squad. After all, they are the main characters. And then we jumped into the Upper Moon meeting, and this is where the animation was beyond anything that I imagined. I'm watching this, and like literally those first like 5 minutes I think is exactly why this was a movie, because Ufotable put their heart and their soul into this like introduction to the Infinity Castle. It's making me so excited for what is to come, because we're gonna see the Infinity Castle a lot more in the future. As a manga reader, I can say like we're gonna get a lot in the Infinity Castle, and I think if this is what the kind of heart and soul they're putting into it now, I can only imagine what it's going to be like when we get it via a season. So they really added quite a lot to Akaza's entrance, which of course like was really short in the manga. The introduction to each character, everyone was losing their minds. Of course, Kokoshibo, he's my favorite demon, so getting to see him was just so exciting for me. I'm so glad people have finally seen his face, because I've cosplayed him and I'm like, I feel like I should put a spoiler warning, because anime onlys don't know who this guy is. The cheers when we finally see his face. His voice actor is amazing. We now have seen all of the Upper Moons, because we also met Gyoko and Hantegu, which of course are going to be the two main antagonists of this arc. I cannot wait to see the battles between them, because if this first episode is any sign of what the animation is going to be like, this season is going to break records once again. It's going to get all kinds of new viewers. People are going to whine about it because Demon Slayer's mid. It's not. If it were mid, it would not have a fandom like this. Just saying. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this season. The Upper Moon meeting, I think I held my breath the entire time. It was so well done. Muzan said some things that I don't think was in the manga either, which was really interesting. He said something about like humanity, like if you still have humanity within you. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was very like bone chilling. Also, Nakime, the Biwa demon, is voiced by the same voice actor for Armin from Attack on Titan, which is wild. And the whole scene was just beautiful. Doma's the favorite for Ufotable. They did so good on him. I'm like, I should not be simping for this demon, but I am. And he's just like silly Doma too. Like it's pretty crazy. We get a lot of lore in this episode. Like this, I really feel like this episode kind of is changing the tone of the show, because we're getting less about just like, oh, we're going off to the next mission, and getting more about like what's going on in the story. After the Upper Moon meeting, we get Tanjiro's dream of Yoriichi and Sumiyoshi, and Yoriichi showed his face. The crowd went absolutely bonkers, which, like, honestly, I was one of them. I don't blame people for going bonkers over Yoriichi's face, because that man is... One of my favorite parts is we saw Sumiyoshi's face for the first time, and he looks an awful lot like Tanjiro, just without the mark. And someone in the audience went, what? I don't know if they were just being silly or if it was like an anime only that's just like, what the heck? Like, that's not Tanjiro, because it's not the same voice actor. It was really funny. That whole sequence was beautiful. We got our little Tankana moment. I'm a huge shipper of Tanjiro and Kanao, and they did the scene with him waking up so well. She looked so happy for him to be awake. The audience kind of gasped when she was like, you've been asleep for 2 months. They were like, what? Silly moments, Inosuke being on the ceiling. They added the cat being happy that he's alive. There was just so many cute moments. Mitsuru's bath scene is in the movie. I know a lot of people thought they were gonna take this out. I never thought they were gonna take it out. This is anime after all. Like, Demon Slayer is not immune to the fan servicey moments. But it was really well done. I heard someone say that it was gonna be like super extra and they were gonna add way to it. They really didn't. I think the only difference was when we got the backside of her, she wasn't like sitting on a rock, so we kind of got everything, which like, it's not like, I watched Attack on Titan, okay? And we of course get introduced to Genya, and oh my gosh, the moments between Mitsuri and Nezuko, so freaking adorable. They are milking that for all it's worth, and as they should, because big sister, little sister, please let me have it. Give it to me the whole time. I love their little relationship. I will watch that for hours on end. It was so cute. And the audience was literally like awing themselves into a puddle. Just like completely just, oh, it's so cute. The episode does end with Tanjiro seeing Muichiro with, oh my gosh, the little kid's name Kotetsu, and noticing the doll and being like, hey, I've seen that man before from his dream. And that's how it ends. Overall, like, the episode is really, really good. I can't wait for more people to see it. Can't wait for the movie to come out in like a week so that I can talk about it more openly. I'm also gonna go see it again with some friends. I'm actually gonna see the movie 3 times total. I saw it obviously with this. I'm gonna see it with some friends, and I'm gonna see it with my sister. So someone's a little obsessed. But like I said, overall, like, it's definitely worth it to go to this movie. If you are a Demon Slayer fan, please go and see it. Please support the company that's doing this. I think that if they make a decent amount of money off of this, we're going to continue to see steps up in the animation, and you're supporting everyone involved, and they all work so hard to give us this show that we all love so dearly. So go and see it if you can. I know it's only playing for 6 days, and I thought for a little while I wasn't going to be able to because I'm traveling a lot the week that it's out, but it's gonna be so good. Everyone's gonna love it. And then of course, you only have to wait like a month before the season comes out. So it's pretty much Demon Slayer time, y'all. It's that time of year. It's a great time of year. I'm so happy that it's back. And what an experience. I hope they do something like this again, because I feel like I can't do it justice by just sitting down and talking about it. I wish I could have vlogged it. I wish I could have talked about it more, but it was something just so amazing and something that I will never forget. Getting to see Hanai-san on stage, hear him speak, getting to see this movie with this audience, being surrounded by thousands upon thousands of Demon Slayer fans, doing it with an amazing group of friends, meeting some TikTok mutuals that I hadn't met in real life yet. Everything about it was like a 10 out of 10 experience. I would say the whole thing was a 9 out of 10 just because of the situation with the red carpet and the not being able to record, but that really doesn't put a damper on my experience. I was a little bit sad right when it ended and I saw that people met him, but I got over it pretty quickly. I hope he comes back to America and I get to actually meet him. That's like my life goal. Meet Natsuki Hanai. Meet Natsuki Hanai. Meet Natsuki Hanai. That's the goal. That is the plan. That's what we're gonna make it happen. But with that, I'm gonna close out the video because I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is almost completely gone now. So thank you all for watching this. I hope that my random tangents about Demon Slayer were entertaining for you to find out about the movie. I'm super excited to bring more Demon Slayer content to you soon, hopefully. And don't forget to leave a comment. If you were there, let me know. I like to meet the people that were there because I was like, I'm surrounded by Demon Slayer fans. Like, this is great. I want to be friends with everyone. But I was so like overwhelmed with everything that I like didn't say hi to anyone. So if you were there, let me know. And hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to go to my link tree in my bio. You can check out all my social media along with my podcast called the Hashira Half Hour. And with that, ciao ne!